What's going on, Malakis? It's your boy, the NCZ3 here, and in this video, I'm going to be attacking a bunch of camps with mixed troops versus mixed troops and mixed troops versus singular troops. Now, I know there's a lot more testing that needs to be done. I've also got to debunk something that I may or may not have started, which is you have to have at least 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever amount of troops in with a particular hero for it to give your stats. I want to debunk that for you guys. Huge shout out to Doc G and Little Teapot for helping me out, guys. But without further ado, let's just dive right into it. All right, so our homeboy Little Teapot right there sent out 2 camps for us. Each of them are going to have 200 T1 infantry units. I am going to send out 200 T1 cavalry units at the first camp in a cavalry phalanx against his infantry phalanx, right? And then the second attack is going to be 200 cavalry units versus that, plus I'm going to add in a bomb and goblin just to show you guys that the army attack stats do apply even if they do not have any of their actual troops with them. So there's the first attack. Let's go ahead and send, oh wait, no, let's not send that one out. That would crush him, okay? Boom, bomb and goblin, 20% army attack. Send it out to the second one. Let's go, baby. Here we go. So here's the first one, infantry phalanx, 132 to R4. And here's the second one, right? 140 to R4. Okay, it's an 8 troop difference. That tells you, by the way, they will never change. In fact, let me prove that to you, okay? I'm gonna repeat the same exact thing right here. Give me just 1 second. For all you Americans that think that the numbers will change, I am here to tell you that they will not. I can tell you this, Gustav tells you that they will not change. Just watch the reports. I know, right? My accent went halfway through. So 132 and boop, 140. See that? They didn't change. So there's the first, there's those 2 attacks. And here's the other 2 attacks I made, right? 140 right there and 132. So no matter what, as long as all of the numbers are equally the same, they will never change. I promise you guys, it will never change. There's no kind of like, well, he got an extra crit on me or any of that stuff like the Coliseum. They will never change. Time to check the results, yeah! All right, guys, check this out, right? 100 infantry, 100 range, 100 cav, all T1. Both him and I, we use the same amount of troops, except I changed the formation I was using. I used all 6 formations. Well, he just stayed in infantry phalanx. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, well, what's the best formation march, huh? Look, here's my answer. Whichever is going to inflict the most amount of damage to my opponent. Now, I will absolutely go infantry wedge versus, cavalry wedge at some point and show you guys the results of my testing, just so you guys can have a good visual of, well, if I know that they're in this formation, you get what I'm saying with that? So let's go ahead and go over these results, right? 33, or a total of 56 on my end, 96 on his end. It's okay, right? That's an infantry phalanx. Here we go. Here is a ranged phalanx. 46 and 106. Wow, that's mind-blowing, right? Because range should be weak to infantry, but it's 100 of each troop, right? It's not a whole infantry march, so keep that in mind. This is absolutely super interesting, though, that the ranged phalanx did better against this infantry phalanx. It did a lot better, actually, like significantly better. I'm very impressed with that, actually. I really, really am. So far, ranged phalanx is the best so far, right? So 66-90. A cavalry phalanx actually did worse against this than the infantry phalanx. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, right? 96 and 56. And then the cavalry formation, right? My bad. The cavalry phalanx did 66 and 90. It actually did worse. That's crazy. Absolutely bonkers. When you guys go to drill these, I don't know if they add in exactly the same amount of troops as both people. I really don't know, but this right here is kind of debunking all of the testing that they did, okay? Or the game function, that is, to test yourself. This is debunking that theory, by the way, all right? And so here we go. Here's an infantry wedge, 58 and 100. It's kind of getting close to the range phalanx, but not nearly as close, right? Not nearly as close. I don't need to see these numbers. I just need to see these, my losses and their losses. That's all I really care about when I look at a report. I mean, of course I look at the formation. Of course I do. And I look at the troops they have left, but this, for testing purposes, I only care about the losses, right? 50 and 88. Now, in my opinion, in my opinion, I would still hit in an infantry wedge over a ranged wedge because it did more damage. To me, I only care about the damage, all right? So far, the ranged phalanx is just better, at best by far, actually, by a lot, actually. That's crazy, right? Here's a cavalry wedge, 62 to 88. That's bonkers. That's absolutely bonkers. There's no way that a ranged phalanx should do better, right? There's no way, right? Infantry phalanx right there, 56, 96. Here's the ranged phalanx. This is mind-blowing. 46, 106. The ranged phalanx actually beat out the infantry phalanx in an even march. Everything's even. A lot of you guys are going to be like, well, you know, what about his gear, you know, his green stats. And this is what I mean by green stats. These guys right here. I'm not in any kind of battle spec. This is all my farm spec, okay? None of it matters. This green stuff, you have to have your leader deployed. It says leader deployed right there. I don't have any additional stats other than 135 on each of these. That's it. I don't have anything else special about it. It's just straight up gray or white stats, whatever you want to call this, versus gray and white stats, right? So hopefully you guys found that educational. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and put 300 T1 infantry, and we're going to fight that with 100 infantry, 100 range, and 100 cav, of course, all T1. I'm going to use all 6 of the formations, just so you guys can see what it would be like to have one troop type versus a mixture of troops inside of each of the different formations. So let's go and attack these. I have right now an infantry phalanx, and I'm going to go ahead and move that over to a range phalanx here in just a second. As soon as I get the message, boom, range phalanx next, hit this one up now, boom, send this, and then we're just going to keep moving back, basically. That's all we're going to be doing. Like this, cavalry phalanx right there, invading troops have reached their destination. That's all I need to see is that message. The invading troops have reached their destination. That's it. So, ooh, there we go. Oh, I almost messed up there. Right here, an arranged, my bad, infantry wedge right there. Let's go like this, attack this one, 300 each, or 100 each, my bad. Don't want to confuse anybody, of course, because there's going to be one guy that's out there in the comment section, you didn't do it correctly. So we did, I promise you, we did. I mean, I promise you, right? I mean, come on, fam. You know, I love you, okay? You know, that's all I'm going to say. Here we go. Get the message, destination, change it to a cavalry wedge, and let's go to attack this last camp, and let's look at the results immediately afterwards. Here we go, attack, put these guys back, put them back, put them back. Come on, there we go, there we go, there we go. Thank you, baby. Hey, it's time to check the results. Let's do this, baby. So here we go. Infantry phalanx versus his infantry phalanx. Remember, it's 100 of each of my tier 1 troops versus 300 straight up infantry. So it's 54-78. This next one, I got defeated. That's crazy. It's going to be range phalanx, 104 to 82. That's super, super bad, okay? That's so bad. It really is. Victory right there. 28 to 72. This is obviously the best right now. Against all one troop type, it's obviously the best, all right? Here we go. 54-74, it's kind of the same, right? This is an infantry wedge, 54-74. Let's check this one out. Infantry phalanx, 54-78. So obviously the phalanx does more damage. You guys got to remember that. Phalanxes are more of an attack than more of a defensive formation. Now the wedges are supposed to be a defensive attack, right? That's why they put the counter troops on the opposite sides of the troop you're attacking with. So for instance, if you're attacking with infantry, what counters infantry? Well, of course, cavalry does. So it's going to put the range units on the side and the cavalry units in the back, right? So always remember that, okay? Let's keep her moving. Here we go. Infantry wedge. Let's look at the range wedge, okay? I lost a lot less, like 40 less troops this way. It was a victory even. I lost 40 less troops this way, 80 troops right there, poof. Let's compare it to its counterpart, infantry phalanx. There's 80, 82. So even the range phalanx still did more damage than the range wedge. I just end up losing more troops this way. So that should really verify it for you guys. What is better, right? What's better, wedges or phalanxes or whatever the case is, right? 30-72. If you compare it with the cavalry, it's obviously going to do less damage. Hopefully that was definitely education for you guys, because it was educational to me. I learned that in a mixture of troops, right? If my opponent has an infantry phalanx, my range phalanx will almost always do better. Like, it just will always do better for the most part, given nothing's changed. I mean, yeah, it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's kind of set up, but that's what this is. It's a setup. It's all tested, okay? I mean, if your opponent has 300,000 cavalry, 400,000 ranged and like 50k infantry, then I would realistically, I would send out a bunch of range units and I'd send out a few infantry units because that's going to counter them really hardcore. And I would still send it out in a ranged phalanx probably, just because I want his units to travel to mine. Now, like I said, when you guys come over here to drill, when you click the drill button, it's very obvious to me at this point that they do not have an even amount of troops in these, because as you guys seen previously, this ranged phalanx did better than any of the other phalanxes, okay? But when you drill them, they're not going to be better. It's going to tell you that the cavalry phalanx is better. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why these are not all evenly spread out amongst themselves, but it's bad information, fam, and I'm here to help you guys out, here to help you debunk that.